Shalom. Kol halo Yahweh Bahashem. Yahweh Shai Bahashem. Raha HaKadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. My name is Barad Debar, coming to you from the GMS campus, Indianapolis. And to all those listening and learning to you, I say Shalom. Especially to you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that make up the 12 tribes of Israel. Today, just going through a few scriptures, and the thought of the lesson is be as pilgrims. It's starting with 2nd Esdras chapter 16, verse 40. And we're going to go right into it, and hopefully it's edifying, uplifting, exhorting to the body. And just like to mention, on another note, that I spent several minutes previously recording, and it didn't take any of my recordings. And so I'm doing this as a second time. So hopefully, again, some of the thoughts that are brought out is that much better and refined through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shah. Okay, so it says 2nd Esdras 16, verse 40 says, "O my people, hear my words, make you ready to the battle." All right, so what words is he professing? The words are through the scriptures, but who are giving those words out? It's his mouthpiece, his voice. Okay, the prophets. All right, what does it say in the scriptures? He says in Isaiah, it says, "Lift up thy voice like a trumpet." Okay, and show my people their transgressions and the house of Israel their sins. All right, where he tells us to cry aloud. Right, and so the voice of the Lord is likened unto a trumpet. All right, and the alarm is letting you know that there's a time of destruction that's coming. The time of destruction is at hand. Yahweh Shai is going to be returning soon, and very soon. And what he says, that our salvation is nearer than when we believe. So what are some of the battles or things that are happening upon the earth that we have to be ready for? Well, we know we have the MOTB. All right. We know we have the Third World War. And then we also have the time of Jacob's trouble. And these are major pieces, prophecies that are going to soon come to pass, which gives us to the point of the second part. And he says, and in those evils, all right, and not to mention we have famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places, different things that are actually happening that's going to displace people, okay, upon the earth. And in those evils, Eve meaning time, ill, bad, be even as pilgrims upon the earth. So let's look up this word pilgrim. And I had that word pulled up. We're going to do it a different way. Well, pilgrimage. All right, a person who journeys to a sacred place or for religious reasons. Well, the children of Israel have been sojourners upon this earth. We've been scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and spiritually, until it becomes physically, we're looking for our homeland. Okay, our mind is set on a new heaven and a new earth where dwelleth righteousness. So let's just go ahead and continue. He says, he that selleth, let him be as he that fleeth away. So just think about these things. Pretty much don't have yourself attached to the things of this world. Okay, because this world is going to soon pass away, which we will get a scripture showing that. Okay, and so he that buyeth as one that loseth will lose. Right, he that occupy merchandise as he that have no profit by it, and he that buildeth as he that shall not dwell therein. He that soweth as if he should not reap, so also he that planteth the vineyard as he that shall not gather the grapes. So again, we're in a time in which many things could happen in a short moment and very quickly, where people, again, like I mentioned before, could be displaced. All right. He says, like in a Yahweh Shai said, like in the time of Noah, when people were eating and drinking and giving in marriage, right? People are thinking about the future. They're giving in marriage. They're thinking about having children. They're thinking about, in today's time, like when he mentioned planting a vineyard and these things. Today's time, they're thinking, hey, I'm going to start to plan for the future and put up money in my 401k. And when it builds up, that I have a great nest egg of, to retire off of. I'm going to go buy a plot of land and build a house, right? But we're not in those times. Verse 44. They that marry as they that shall get no children, and they that marry not as the widowers. Okay, so just want to get the point there. Here's the First Corinthians chapter 7 verse 29. We'll read through down to 31. It says, "But I say," this is Paul speaking, "brethren, the time is short." We're in times are going by very fast, right? He said, and if Yahweh Shai made the mention, he said, if the time had not been shortened, the elect would not be saved. Roughly paraphrasing, because we're under a rulership, Esau Edom, the so-called white man, is completely adverse to life. Okay, how so? Because he promotes men with men, and you can't produce life that way. Women with women, you can't produce life that way. Okay, GMOs and plants that are without seeds cannot produce life that way. Okay, just an example. Okay, it says, time is short, and it remaineth that both they that have wives be as though they have none, they have had none, or they had none, they that weep as though they weep not, and they that rejoice as though they rejoiced not, and they that buy as though they possessed not, they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. All right. So we understand that the fashion, the things that are happening upon this world, is going to pass away. So yeah, we are in this world. We're gonna, men are going to marry. They're going to. People are still going to be getting children. But we're not in the time of thinking long term. Okay. We're in this world, but we're not abusing it. We want to understand that the things that we have, that the Lord has given us on this side, whether it be wives, children, houses, cars, whatever possessions, that we could lose it in an instant. And we don't want to tie ourselves to those things. Yahweh Shai made a mention. He said, lay up your treasures in heaven, where moth and dust doeth not corrupt, and thieves do not break through nor steal. Right? He says, for where your heart is, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. So our treasures are in heaven. All right. We know that the spiritual things, the things that the Lord has given us, like this truth, cannot be taken. No one can close the door nor open the doors of your mind but Yahweh Shai. So these treasures and this knowledge, this wisdom that we're receiving, it only comes from the Heavenly Father. And that's where he tells us that we should meditate on day and night. Right. And so things of this world, your house, car, wives, children, things could either pass away or be taken away in a moment, in an instant. And so, like he said, where your heart is, there, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. He also makes a mention that you can't serve mammon or the Most High. Yeah, and mammon would be material things. So if your mind is stuck on getting gain, and the far future of this world, that would be a disservice to yourself, to tie yourself to those things. So we must have the understanding that these things could change in an instant. Speaking to myself first and foremost. All right, this is the book of John, 1 John chapter 2, verse 15 through 17. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. For if any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. So if you have your tithes and these possessions, the things of this world, understand that the Father is not going to be dealing with you. Okay. He says, for all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. So of course, when you look at social media, you look throughout the news, you see everything dealing with the flesh, what I can get, things that I can see, what I have, the things that we mentioned prior to, and the pride of life. All right. And so we also know that pride goeth before destruction and a haughty spirit before the fall. And so people have a huge pride on what they have. Women, getting BBLs, and men getting leg lengthening procedures, showing that AI is now becoming a thing where certain of the elites are putting above the Most High. And you know how the scriptures say, thou shalt not have no other gods before the Most High. And so many of our people are tying themselves to a lot of these things that are in the world that are being shown by Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, which is going to lead them to destruction. Like the scriptures say, though hand join in hand, the wicked should not go unpunished, roughly paraphrasing. So we have to be careful into not tying ourselves to these things. Because again, like he said, verse 17, he says, and the world passeth away and the lust thereof. So everything that's connected, that's in this world is going to be done. The philosophies, the doctrines. But guess what? He that doeth the will of the Most High will abide forever. Doeth the will of the Father abideth forever, because we knows that his laws, his commandments, the things in which he created through the Spirit will continue on forever. Right? Like he had mentioned, like the sun and the ordinances of the moon and the stars, the constellation of the stars. He says if those things would change, then the children of Israel, would no longer be his people. Right? And Jeremiah 31 verse 31 starting, how he's going to put the laws in our inward parts. So of course his children are going to be forever, starting with the elect. All right. So just some thoughts there. This is the book of James chapter 4 verse 4. Ye adulterers and adulteresses, know ye not that the friendship of the world is enmity with the Most High? You are enemy of the Most High if you're connected to the ways of this world. Whoso therefore be a friend of the world is an enemy of the Most High. And if you're an enemy of the Lord, you're going to be destroyed when he returns. So we don't want to be in that position. This is the book of Timothy, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 3. Just going to read down to 3. It says, this know also that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affections, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. So as these things are going on, as you can see in 4, traitors, heady, high-minded. I know I mentioned 3, but lovers of pleasure more than lovers of the Most High. These things you see all throughout the news, all throughout social media. These things are being pushed to the forefront. And this is why the Lord said, and see if I have it in here, Matthew chapter 24, verse 12, and because this is all iniquity, shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. When you look at that word cold in the dictionary, or actually in the Strong's, in the concordance, that cold goes into psycho. And let's look up this word. Let's see how, if it'll actually even come up this way. Well, close. All right. So 2, it says lacking affection or warmth of feeling, unemotional. All right. So let's see. I'm going to actually pull it up, see if we can pull it up in the Strongs. Give me a moment. Okay, there it is, wax cold. And here it is, verse 20. The top, wax cold. Show wax cold, as you can see in the Strongs. I bring it up, bring it here. It says psycho. All right. We'll click on that. Psycho.
Strong's G 5594. Psucho.
He says psycho.
Psucho.
We know you see it as psycho, and if you've seen it in the dictionary or rereading it, you would say psycho. But it says, look at the bottom, metaphor of waning love. Okay, what is waning? We're gonna look that one up. Waning love. Waning. All right. So it says waning, having a progressively small part, visual surface. Waning, meaning here to become weaker in strength or influence. So the love of many is going to go become weaker and weaker. You're going to start to see people become more evil toward each other. And why? It's because we're under a rulership of evil. Okay, Esau, Edom. And there was one I wanted to get in the Maccabees, where he talks about, let's see if we can get that really quick. Let's see if it'll come up for me. Yep, this is Maccabees. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 9. This is, let's jump a couple. So Alexander reigned 12 years, then died. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because the same people, Alexander is an Edomite, and the rulers that came after him shortly after were all Edomites. And of course, we're in the last days where it tells us in Esdras that Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob, which is the Israelites, was the beginning of it that followeth. So the new kingdom is going to be under Israel. However, when Yahweh shall return, he's going to be returning into a land, a earth that's being ruled by Edomites. So to give this example, during the time of Alexander, when he ruled, and thereafter, there's something that happened with them. And that's the same thing that's going on now. It says, so Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. It says, and his servants bear rule, every one in his place. He says, and after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years. And evils were multiplied in the earth. So again, we are evils, Eve meaning time, and ill meaning bad. And so we're in the rulership of Esau, Edom. And as you can see that this kingdom, being in this kingdom and learning the history of the things that are going on in this kingdom, that evils have done nothing but multiply upon the earth. And so this is a reason why we don't want to be so attached to these things. So I hope this lesson was uplifting, exhorting, edifying of some sort into the body. Before I end, and that's the body of the elect, but before I end, I like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rahahakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the globe. And to all those listening and learning, to you, I say, Shalom.